right, we're going to welcome in our economic panel for today. Chief economist at the Heritage Foundation, E.J. Antoni, and former managing editor at Forbes magazine and author Dennis Neal. Gentlemen, great to see you both this morning. Want to start with this. America's Workforce Academy program is really trying to solve a bottleneck that could slow the entire AI boom, a shortage of skilled workers to build data centers and power infrastructure. EJ, let's talk a little bit more about that and the economic impact to wages for skilled trades and pathways to careers without a four-year college degree.
Well, I think this is another example of how blue-collar jobs are just kind of ever in demand, right? We keep hearing about how AI is going to eliminate some jobs, and in a certain sense, that's true. AI is a substitute for certain types of labor, but it's also a complement to labor. In other words, it helps certain white-collar folks to be much more productive and therefore earn higher wages. But all of that is just simply in addition to the huge increase in demand for blue-collar jobs, for construction jobs, for electricians, for carpenters, for masons, you name it. You don't necessarily think of all of these physical, tangible jobs when you think AI, but those are all of the kinds of jobs that are required and many more to build out the AI infrastructure that we are going to need to win this arms race, which is what it is, this arms race that we have with some hostile nations like China. If we're going to beat out the Chinese Communist Party, we're going to have to win in terms of AI, and that's going to require a lot more infrastructure to make that happen.
Oh, absolutely. And for so many years, you both know the trades were really ignored. But there's also kind of a downside to the AI boom. Here's a warning from Secretary of State Marco Rubio to the Senate Foreign Relations Committee last week. Listen.
Will be white-collar jobs in this country that will be impacted. And I think we have to start thinking not simply about the impact that AI will have on those jobs, but the societal pressures that will create, not just in the United States, but in economies all over the world. Much like industrialization and automation did, it will make the worker more efficient and more valuable, but it will eliminate some jobs, and those jobs will have to be replaced with new jobs or new skills. That's not just an economic issue. That is a political issue. That, over time, could destabilize societies all over the world.
Dennis, I want to get your take on that and how we weigh all of this.
It's a little dystopic and a little panicked. I love Secretary of State Marco Rubio, but he's kind of giving us a blinding glimpse of the obvious at this point, right? And having followed tech for a good 3+ decades, I can say that every time a big new thing came along, we had all of these worries. And tech always ends up creating a bunch of jobs to make sure the tech can run, even as it replaces other jobs. So I think we're worried about it too much. There's something wonderfully ironic in the idea that the AI revolution that we so fear is going to trigger a revival in construction jobs and blue collar and people who build stuff with their hands. Because the future is figuring out a career where you do stuff with your hands that AI can't do. Physical rehab, nursing, building stuff. AI can't do that yet, thankfully. And it'll be a long time before robots really are that great at it.
Yeah. Dennis, I want to follow up with you. I want to talk about the SpaceX IPO. I mean, it's getting a lot of attention, but there are, tiers of access to it. Can you explain to us a little bit more about this eligibility and your thoughts on the company going public?
Okay, I don't have a whole lot about the eligibility because I didn't study that part of it. I'm much more interested in the value and what happens after it goes public. Let's take a look at Facebook, Tesla, some of the most anticipated IPOs. What happened? Facebook was down after 30 days, down after 6 months, down after a year. Tesla, it didn't really rocket until 3 years after the IPO. So what's going to happen for SpaceX? Well, one thing is SpaceX already has $20 billion a year in revenue, far more than Tesla or Facebook had. And it just signed 2 deals with Google and Anthropic to buy compute time from SpaceX, and it doubles their entire revenue just with those 2 deals. It's incredible, right? At the same time, you just feel like the only thing to fear is FOMO, fear of missing out, because that's what makes me want to buy this stock at the open right away, no matter what I have to pay. And yet the short sellers will come in, they could knock it down. Maybe you're better off waiting rather than going after it. As far as eligibility, only the best customers for Charles Schwab, for Fidelity, only the top-notch customers will get it. They're an eligible investor because they've got $1 million. I mean, I asked my Schwab guy, hey, I want some of that stock. I haven't heard from him in a month. I'm not going to get hold of that thing. I'm going to have to buy it after it's gone up 30% the first day. And I don't know that you should. And whatever I do, you should do the opposite. Okay? I'm a Costanza type of approach. I mean, I sold Intel after it doubled a couple months ago. I sold all of my Intel after it doubled. Yay. And then the stock tripled in the next couple of months.
Oh, my goodness. Well, guys, I'm getting the wrap here. I wish I had more time to talk to both of you all day. Always a great discussion. Thank you both so much.
Thank you.